I'm Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Chance Theatre for the West Coast premiere of Samsara.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
My name is Jennifer Ruckman. I am a resident artist here at the Chance, have been since 2007, and I play Katie in Samsara, and I'm also our literary manager here. I played Katie. Katie is married to Craig and very, very much wants to have a baby, and when they find out that that's not possible to do the normal way, she is determined to find a way and decides to go the surrogate route and sends Craig to India to pick up their baby. And she does not go because she has a very extreme fear of flying related to some personal family tragedy.
So what do you think was the major or one of the major themes of this play?
Oh gosh, motherhood, what it means to be a mother. You have an examination both from Katie's perspective, who is choosing to have a baby through a surrogate, not carrying it herself. You also have the perspective of the surrogate, who is dealing with her connection to this child that is inside her that isn't actually biologically her child. And so it's a lot about what it means to be a parent. Is it biological? Is it, actually carrying it inside of you for 9 months? Where does the connection come from? And there's a lot of anxiety about that, and also about how a child might be affected by how it's conceived.
It seems like, I agree with you a lot about that. It seems like that was the entire play. Why is that such a fascinating point about children? I mean, I know having children is important. I have children and all that. But why do you think this play frames it in that way?
Frames it in what?
It frames it in basically a way that if you can't have children, what, are you less of a human being? Or go out and find some creative way of doing it? Or can't you just accept the fact you don't have kids?
Well, I think for these characters in particular, for Katie in particular, that's what she's always wanted, is to have kids. And actually, I think that's one of the things that's interesting about the play, is that when she finds out she can't carry a child herself, she's still so determined to have a child that is biologically related to her. I mean, they forego adoption as an option entirely because she's so determined that it be actually biologically her child. And there are people who feel that way, absolutely. And then there are people who, when they can't have kids, they're fine with that, or they choose adoption. But for this particular character, that was something that she felt very strongly about and very connected to. And that's something that is absolutely a thing for some people. And they will go to the ends of the earth, I mean, in vitro and surrogacy and all of these things, to have their own child biologically.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
James McHale. I'm a resident artist here at the Chance, and been working out of Orange County in theater for a long time now. Actually, got my performance degree in theater from Cal State Long Beach. I played Craig. Craig is married man with Katie, and in his 30s, him and his wife have been trying to have a baby for quite some time now, and they can't have a baby, so they end up having a surrogate carry a child for them from India. And he is terrified of traveling. Katie is terrified of flying, and so her fear wins out, and so he has to go by himself to India to get the baby and bring it home. And so he does. He goes to India and meets Saraya, the surrogate, and has to deal with being, kind of out of his comfort zone in terms of, being in this country and dealing with the surrogate, and really trying to get to know her and develop a connection to her. And that's, without giving too much away, that's kind of his journey, is building a connection with this person and feeling a connection with this child, and hopefully bringing it back to Katie.
So what do you think is the main theme, or one of the main themes of this play?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of themes in this play. I think one of them is really about people moving different directions in life. I think for Katie and Craig in particular, they are really moving opposite directions in terms of their marriage, in terms of what they want. And it's learning to actually get on the same page and move together. and sometimes, unfortunately, it can take some major events for that to happen. I think another theme in the play is about parenthood and really what it means to be a parent. Does a child have to be biologically yours for you to feel like you are a parent? And if you have a surrogate, does someone else carrying your child for you, does that change the relationship with the child? Does that change that child's relationship to the world, depending if they're from a different part of the world? I think that's kind of another major theme of the play.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Anisha Dusamilli. I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, moved out to LA, went to UCLA, and then became auditioning and working actress soon after that. And this is my first production at Chance Theatre.
And which character did you play?
Soraya. Soraya is someone who lost her parents at a young age, then grew up the rest of her life with her aunt, and always had an aspiration to be a doctor, according to a dream her mother and her came up with. And she doesn't have many options, either to stay with her aunt, get married, and become kind of a homemaker, or she finds a way to make money through being a surrogate so that she can pay for her own medical college and get out of the life that she's destined for.
Okay. So what do you think is one of the main themes of this play?
It's about, what direction do you want to go in your life? Paths, different choices you take, and a big one is motherhood.
How does this thing address motherhood?
Both Katie's and Soraya's mothers passed away, so that's a huge influence on them and how they live their lives. And Katie has a very strong desire to be a mother, whereas Soraya has zero desire to be a mother. So it's interesting the different ways that the loss of the mother affected them. And it's kind of like, what is the definition of being mother comes up a lot in terms of you can't have your own child, but you choose to have it through a surrogate, or somebody else's child is inside of someone, but yet you still feel like a mother to them. Just all of those things, and how you form attachments, and what is real and what isn't, and the fantasies you have in your head.
I'm never going to be a mother, and I can't possibly fathom what that's like.
Really?
Yeah, I can't possibly fathom what that's like. So, how does this thing address? Does this play fairly address the importance of it, or the importance of not being it?
I think it addresses, what, for Katie, I think it addresses what it is that she's trying to fill in terms of the void that she has. It addresses why she wants to be a mother, and instead of, she doesn't necessarily get that wish, but it illuminates what it is she's trying to fill up anyway. And that might not necessarily have to do with motherhood, but it's a personal issue that she thought being a mother would fulfill. And then Soraya has shut out that part of her life, because I think she doesn't want to deal with loss again, and I think it does portray what it is to be a mother, though. Just physically, even just carrying a baby in you, I think it does something to a human being. And carrying a human inside of your own body, there's just something very physiological about that really makes you aware of the bond that's going on and how you are caring for something that you're bringing into this world. So that's the foundation of what it is before you become an actual mother when the baby comes out. But just even thinking about it that way, I do think it touches on that a lot.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Ray Parikh, from Orange County, went to the University of Pennsylvania, got back to LA about 3 years ago, and I've been pursuing an acting career since. I play Amit. Amit is the fetus. He's an imaginary character inside of Soraya's mind, and he basically expresses all the concerns that the surrogate mother has, and also demonstrates the connection that no matter what the biological material is, a surrogate is carrying that child, and there's a connection there.
What do you think is the main theme of this story?
I think, to be honest, I think it's about three different journeys, or maybe I can sum it up to two journeys, but it is about Craig and Katie figuring out their differences and starting to understand what the reality is and what their desires are, and how you can reconcile those. Ooh, excuse me. And I think for Soraya, it's about also dealing with the reality versus her desire. And the reality of her situation is to be an independent woman in India is an extreme challenge, and she makes the ultimate sacrifice of her body and an emotional sacrifice of giving up a kid that she carried for 9 months to be able to pursue that independence, and that's quite a journey.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Jason Paul Evans. I studied theater at Fullerton College. I've been acting dancing since I was about 17 years old. Started off as an athlete, made the switch in high school. Since then, it's just become my real passion, and I just really dove hardcore into the business about 4 years ago. I just joined SAG-AFTRA last year, so now a union actor, which is good. Played the Frenchman and the British Doctor, and then the two smaller characters in the beginning, the American Doctor and one of the Indian surrogates.
Could I have a brief synopsis of your main character, the Frenchman?
I would say he is, the way I like to describe it is that he's Katie's conscience. He is her fantasy of a perfect man, so he's very charming. There's a reference to Maurice Chevalier in the show, and there is a little bit of a loose basis of that within the character. But as much as he is charming and is her fantasy of a man in a way, it's kind of what Craig isn't giving her. Aside from that, he's also very much a truth teller to her, and that's where the conscience part comes in. There are a few scenes where he gives her the honest answers that she may not be ready to hear or want to hear with regard to her situation, and I think that in the end, a little bit of that kind of pushes her in the right direction, shall we say.
I really liked your character.
Well, thank you very much. It's fun to play. It's a very fun character to play.
So what do you think is one of the main themes of this story?
Main themes, I would say the importance of being there in life's major events, and not letting your fears dictate what you do, and in some respects who you are. Just take chances to do things in life. Take the risks that you know in your heart will end up putting you in a place where you will really appreciate the event that is about to occur, whatever it may be. So just don't live in fear, I think, is one of the main things. That and the importance of motherhood, I think, is another one.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course, thank you very much.
Samsara will be playing at Chance Theatre from April 30th to May 31st. For more information, go to chancetheatre.com or theorangecurtainrev.com.